Or maybe it's the Long Islanders going to New York City because that's where it's at.
Everybody comes from John.
Yeah, Jones Beach, right. They're having special runs out to Jones Beach today. Right. So, fireworks, Jones Beach. So, this idea that these three words are miscomprehended, nobody ever thinks about. Now, freedom is probably, I think, the worst of the miscomprehended things. Let me just ask you all, what does freedom mean? Tell me. To be able to do what you want. Okay, now that most people probably start there. Does that definition have any problem? Big problem. Right. Even in America, we're supposed to be free, right? Can we do what we want? Well, in some ways, right?
Yes.
But in other ways, no. If everyone did exactly what they want, would that be a good thing? Why do we say that? What would happen if everybody did what they wanted? Right. Well, there would be chaos, but probably it would be a little browner, a little uglier than chaos. It would be really, nasty. People would be nasty to each other because in some cases that's what people really want to do, is be nasty to each other.
Everybody thinking all I stuff.
What's that? Yeah, well, that's a whole different story. But we're talking about regular people, and we're talking about regular definition here. So, the ability to do what you want. So let's ask, do what you want in what way? What do you mean by freedom? Yeah.
Within the confine of the laws.
Within the confines of the laws, the state and federal laws. Is that what you mean?
No, the laws which we cannot change.
The laws which we cannot change. Natural law. Okay, so you're talking about a different law. Natural law. What would those laws be? Be able to fly, right? Oh, that would certainly feel free. You'd be free in a lot of ways. You wouldn't have to go through customs again, right? Maybe they'd shoot you up, shoot you down as you came across the border or something like that. What's that?
They would be flying.
Who would? The customs would. Right. I can just see that. Fly over this way. Let's see that passport. Where are you coming from?
Just right.
Yeah, right. So we could be free. We could fly. What else do we mean by free? I mean, let's just take it from an American freedom point of view. What does it even mean? What can we be free doing? Well, okay. Certainly people take it to that point. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Freedom is our actual right, in one sense. We are given free will by the Supreme Lord, which means we can desire anything we want. It can be reasonable, it can be unreasonable, it can be good, it can be bad. We can even desire against our own desires. All those stuff can happen. But whether we can do it or not, that's a whole other story. But we can desire anything that we want. What's that? Freedom from desire. Yeah, that's the one freedom we absolutely have. And in no dark jail, in no oppressive country, under no, oppressive rule, will that freedom ever be taken away. It cannot be taken away. The freedom to desire whatever you want. However, the freedom to do whatever you want, that's a whole nother thing, as they say. That's a whole different story. To do what you want, well, why is it we can't do what we want? What are some of the reasons why we can't do what we want? Yeah. What's that? We're imperfect. All right. In other words, we're not able to do. Is that what you're saying? That's why we can't do what we want? Or are you saying something else? Yeah. So we can't do what we want because we're not able to. We're not either strong enough, intelligent enough, or skillful enough, or whatever it is. Right?
We are not in control.
We're not in control. We can't do it. Who is in control? Okay. Now we hit some rock bottom there. So what else?
So, this question, I can divide four.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, whatever people desire, is 100% no. And if I desire everybody, Krishna consciousness, unification consciousness, Teta Yoga, 75%.
Mm-hmm.
And Tapa Yoga, 50%.
Mhm.
And Koli Yoga, 25%.
Mm-hmm.
So, this one you are talking about.
Right.
Think about Sattva Yoga. So, it's everything will be 100%. Whatever people desire.
Well, to an extent, okay. That gets into a much more broad discussion. I hadn't really thought of going that way, but that's interesting. That, definitely in the different yugas, people want different things. In Satya Yuga, there's no LIRR. Somehow or another they forgot to build one in Satya Yuga.
Okay, the desire that I go to Bangladesh now, I go Bangladesh. I go
Right.
everything is there.
Right. Yeah, the yogis or the brahmanas would go into one river and come up in a different river halfway across the world if they wanted to. So, hey, it was cheaper. They didn't have train wrecks and all that kind of stuff. But that is that freedom to go wherever we want to go. Sometimes, this is a thing you can think about. What would it be like if suddenly you could not only think whatever you wanted to think, but you could do anything you wanted to do? And this isn't just a moot thing. It happens to people. When suddenly somebody wins the lottery or something like that. So all their lives, everything they did was channeled by the fact that they didn't have much money and they couldn't do much of anything. But suddenly now they've got $1 million or $2 or $7 or whatever it is, $14 million. And essentially, tomorrow they could do any damn thing they want to do. Within certain boundaries still, but certainly not the same boundaries they had yesterday. Suddenly they are free with a capital F in the sense of how money can make you free. So, does that do a good thing to people or not? What's that?
Then you wouldn't know what to do.
Right. Most people don't know what to do. And most people actually waste the money that they get in the lottery because they don't actually know what to do with it. In other words, suddenly they have freedom in a bigger way than they had it the previous day. And they can adapt to it. Why does freedom ruin people?
Explanation is not like very little.
Hmm?
The freedom explanation, this meaning is not like very little. This is so many ways people desire.
Yeah.
So many, not only you, our mind.
Right.
What about law?
Right.
If I want to do something,
Like the king.
cut out-
You
yeah.
can say, cut your head off. Everybody says, no, no. He said, no, I say cut your head off. Okay. There it goes.
If I want to desire something, but federal law is not
Right.
going to help me. So that's why this freedom, you want to explain the freedom, is very, like, but unlimited. You cannot explain
Right.
this.
Right.
So many ways.
So there's many ways we can have freedom. Like,
Money. Money
Rasa was saying, we could be free to
What about
fly.
love? I want the 5 million.
Was that?
The love. That is also my freedom too. Can I have 5 million? No.
No.
Because law is
What about the
saying,
lady
okay, I
wants
can-
5 men?
Only I can have one. So will they lock me up?
Go to Saudi
Right.
Arabia.
What's that?
Go to
That's what I'm
Saudi
telling you.
Arabia.
South Indian
You
people.
would have it all.
That's why I'm telling you. This is something you can have freedom. Desire to have a freedom, but cannot.
Right, right, right.
So that's
So-
what I'm saying. The freedom, you can't say that everybody can have desire.
So we see how we get into trouble the minute we start to analyze freedom. It doesn't always seem like a good thing. And we don't know which kind of freedom we're talking about. And it seems like there are different flavors of freedom, doesn't it?
So many.
That's why I brought this subject up. We're talking about independence. So, not all freedom is the same kind of freedom, and not all freedom is a good thing. So, how? Now we have the big, $50 million question. How do we discover which kind of freedom is good for us and which kind of freedom is not good for us?
Should we go that way? Which one is not? And for us, which one is good for us? That is the discussion we can go.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing right now. How do we know? Right. Yeah, right. He took shelter from a group. What were you going to say, Christian? What's that? Yeah. Some people like jumping off cliffs with these little, squirrel suits on. And some people like diving off bridges with, bungee cords around their legs. Somebody's doing things with BMX bikes. And some people, jump out with parachutes or with jet packs or go skiing. There's various different kinds of freedom. And some people like to hack the web at night in the basement, and see if they can figure out government secrets or cause, somebody to get a lethal injection in a hospital, get an airplane to crash out of the sky or something like that. So some people like all different kinds of freedom.
It seems like we need to have proper knowledge to exercise the freedom.
What's that?
We need to have proper knowledge to
Right.
exercise the freedom. Otherwise, it's not.
Right. How do we get that proper knowledge?
We will stay.
What's that?
So that proper knowledge means academic state. Who is thinking only
The state.
school, state. Like
Right.
he's only school knowledge, so he only school part. He can go that far.
Well, that's
But
a
with
that's a
university
good that's a
part,
good
he can go another.
good bit of bedrock there. So we have the laws of the state, and generally they confine freedom to something. You can do this, but you can't do that. So we have some freedoms, but we don't have all kinds of freedom. I can't just have the freedom to go and walk into your house and take stuff out of your refrigerator. I can do it in my house, but unless I'm your friend and, I've got one of those relationships where you want to slap me, but you won't because we're supposed to be friends, so.
Immediately trust her.
Right. So if you walk into the neighbor's house and you say, that bottle of milk looks real good, I'm going to take it. And they say, wait a minute, who are you? So that kind of freedom, that's against the law. And, taking somebody's car, swindling somebody out of money, telling them you're going to do something and you need their financial support and you disappear or whatever. So some kinds of freedom are against the law. And so they're not freedom. And why are they against the law?
Whatever we should not do, if we want to do, that is the law.
Yeah, right. But why do people pass such laws? What is it based on? Okay.
Loud.
Bias. Bias against what or for what? Right. Well, supposed to be, the laws are supposed to protect people. And really what they do is they make sure that people have the kind of sense gratification that they're used to, and nobody unjustly takes it away from them. Although there are certainly gray areas. And, if you unjustly take away people's sense gratification, if you do it in a sneaky enough way, you can get away with it. And people do it all the time. But if you do it in an obvious way, like you walk into their house and take it in the middle of the night, or walk in while they're on a vacation and take it, along with a doll